here.
Do you know what beef is? Do you know what beef
nowhere.
is? Ask yourself. Do you know what beef is? Come on.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tell us your name, sir.
My name is Buddy Connor.
Where are you from, Mr. Connor?
Old River, Texas.
And why are we here today?
And we're here today because back in December of 2019, my son, who is special needs, autistic, nonverbal, was abused, physically abused by his teacher, Christina Langhorne.
That was December of 2019, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
And we're in May of 2020, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Between December, before we talk about Isaiah, let's just talk about you. Is Isaiah your only child?
No, he's not. He has a brother, a twin brother, and he has a sister at home, and he also has a half sister from another person.
Okay. And are you married?
Yes, I am married.
How long have you been married?
Close to 10 years.
Awesome. And how old is Isaiah?
Isaiah is 9.
What grade is he in?
He is in 3rd grade.
And how long has he been in any special ed programs in the state of Texas?
Since he was 3 years old.
3. So let's start there. Let's talk about your experience with the special education freedom program, public education that your son has received since he was a 3-year-old. Is it okay to go back that far?
Yes, it is.
And so, so let's take it from the beginning. So 3 years old, and where did he start?
He was enrolled in the PPCD program.
Okay, explain what that is for folks that might not know.
It's a program for special needs student or special needs kids who need the extra attention, the extra help to focus on some sort of life skill.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a Head Start program.
Okay. And were you satisfied with that experience?
Absolutely. Teacher was wonderful. Couldn't ask for a better situation.
Okay. What was good about it? So explain what a good situation looked like.
Well, she was really attentive to his needs.
Mm-hmm.
She would tell us and let us know, every day, either by phone or by paper, on how he was doing in school, how he was advancing, that sort of thing. And there was really never any problem with the PPCD program.
So you went from that program. What was the next program you went to?
It was from that to pre-K.
Okay.
And pre-K was pretty good as well. He pretty much had the same teacher.
Okay.
And
He's okay. He's fine.
I think from pre-K or from the PPCD program to kindergarten were the best time of him being in school. After he was going into the 1st grade, him and his brother would fight a lot. One was hindering another. They would keep them in the same room instead of spreading them out, that sort of thing.
Okay.
So one was hindering the other, and halfway into the 1st grade year that he was in, we had an ARD meeting, and they moved him from the classroom that he was in to the classroom, the life skills in 2nd grade in a different school to separate him and his brother. And that's whenever we first met Christina Langhorn.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, who is Christina Langhorn?
Christina Langhorn is the able teacher who abused Isaiah.
Okay.
And she was his teacher for almost 3 years.
So she knew him very well.
Yes. She was very acquainted with him.
Okay. And so, did your experience change after meeting that teacher?
For the first year,
And what school district is?
Barbers Hill.
Barbers Hill.
Barbers Hill, BHISD, yes.
Okay. And what county is that in?
It's in,
Bench.
well, it's Chambers County.
Okay. And that's in the city of
Mont, Belvieu, Texas,
Okay.
yes.
Belvieu, Texas.
Down.
Okay, so you met Christina Langhorn,
Mhm.
and so what was your experience from the time that you met her?
We thought our kid was safe.
Okay.
We had, reassurance that everything would be okay. Her background, she was a teacher for 19 years. So as far as we knew, everything was okay. Everything seemed to be all right. She was also sending letters, writing notes in the agenda and everything, letting us know his progress. So it really wasn't anything suspicious going on that we would have to think about, what happened to our kid.
Okay. Did you have any warning signs that Christina Langhorn was not a fit teacher?
Not at all.
Isaiah never displayed any unusual attributes or behaviors at home while he started to learn under her?
No, not until the abuse happened.
Okay.
From when he first met her to up to the incident, everything seemed to be kosher, fine.
Candy.
So let's talk about the abuse.
Mm-hmm.
When did the abuse happen?
December 16th in the morning.
And let's not say when you found out about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. But let's talk about what happened.
Okay. So,
Do you need some water?
no,
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out where I'm going
Okay.
to start. Well, it started
No.
when we were notified whenever this had happened. We didn't know what to think about it. We were kind of beside ourselves.
Okay.
Like,
Well, tell people what happened.
he was.
Well.
Just say, you can't go upstairs. That's all.
The,
The bathroom's one second, Scott. Bathroom is straight ahead. There's a TV right there. I have a piano that he can play if he's not gonna beat the keys up. It's my brother's. But Mom, you guys are safe. I don't think there's anything in there that can harm him except maybe in the kitchen because I haven't washed dishes. Okay. Go ahead.
well, when we were notified about the incident, and you want me to speak about the video, about knowing about the video?
Yeah.
Okay. We were called in, or the phone call that we received was stating that we needed to come in for a discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Really didn't know what was going on because they didn't let us know at the time of the phone call. So we went in, spoke with the special needs coordinator, Susan Garcia, and Stephanie Martin, which is the principal at Barbers Hill Elementary. And that's whenever they told us that there was a 23-minute video of abuse, physical abuse, on Isaiah. Upon viewing the video, she yelled at him verbally and told him to go to his corner. Well, she went over there to him and yanked off his backpack, threw it down, yanked off his jacket, threw it down,
Whoa.
and pushed him onto a beanbag. That was in the corner of his little area. It went from that, she walked away, and would snap her fingers and was talking to other people, telling him that he wouldn't eat until he calmed down, but she would go right back to him and yell at him. And he tried to get away from her, and she pushed him up against the wall. And when she shoved him up against the wall, she pushed her body onto his and pressed him up against the wall. Once that had happened, she backed off a little bit and was, talking more aggressively to him. And then she would walk away, and then you would see two other aides come in with other students, sit down, and they were eating, and they were spectating to see, everything was going on. And eventually she went back to Isaiah because he was hitting on, tapping, some stuff on the wall. He kind of like, he was intrigued what was there, and she didn't like that. So she went over there, she moved it and started slamming his hand up against a cinder brick wall, repeatedly, over and over and over, and screaming at him.
How many times do you think it was?
Oh, the first time I want to say about 15 times that his little hand was slammed up against the wall. And then he had dropped himself down, and there was a partition there where you can't see with camera view. But you can see her like she was going to straddle him. You can't see what happened, but you can only think, because she was saying, look at me, screaming at him, look at me. And I can only think that she had him by his lower jaw, saying, look at me. But I couldn't physically see that. And she picked him up again and started slamming his hand up against the wall. And this was about another 20 times.
Were you able to see that on camera?
Yes.
Okay.
And then after that was said and done, she grabbed the petition and started to corner him. And he was screaming and crying and wanting mom because of what was going on. And she brought up the fact that your mom and dad may listen to you do this at home, but it's not going to happen here. And she kept cornering him and cornering him and cornering him all the way up till he had a little space. And the screaming and shoving, and it was relentless for, this video was 23 minutes long. And like I said, the whole time, the two teacher aides were sitting there watching the whole thing, never once said or done anything. Finally, there was a teacher that came up from across the hall and got him to get him out of the situation. But before that, there was no one that was going to help that baby boy. That they were just too worried about feeding themselves, and instead of stopping a situation.
So that happened on what day?
I believe it was December 16th.
And when were you? And what day was that? What day? Of the
It was
week?
on a Friday.
What day of the week did you find out what? Well, so when did you find out what happened?
Monday, the weekend. They went through the weekend before anybody said anything, and it was a teacher that came back Monday and said something.
And what date was that? The date?
And it was that Monday following, so
December 19th.
19th, December 19th, I think it would have been.
And you were notified on that day?
Yes.
How were you notified?
And we were notified by phone stating that we needed to come in, that they needed to talk to us about something.
And so, do you know who called you?
Stephanie Martin.
And did she call you or did she call your wife?
She called me.
And so, what did you do next?
Oh no, she did call.
She called your wife.
My wife.
And then, so what happened? What happened afterwards?
That's whenever she explained that we needed to come in and talk. That there was an incident, but didn't go into detail.
Okay. And once you got there, what happened?
Her, Stephanie Martin, and Sue Garcia, which is the head over special needs, was in a room with my wife Emily and I.
He's okay. He's fine. He's fine.
And that's whenever they told us about the situation and how they were appalled that it happened, and so apologetic and everything. And then told us about a video. It took me 2 days from that Monday, so Wednesday, I viewed the video. That's how we found out there was video, because they had told us in the meeting.
Mm-hmm. What was who watched the video with you?
My wife Emily and I, Sue Garcia, and Stephanie Martin.
And
they refused for us to watch the video, just us two. That they wanted to be in the room.
okay. Were any other faces blurred out on the video?
No.
Okay.
No, you can see all the other children's faces, the aides' faces, and everything.
Okay. Just as a random question, did any of the parents contact you asking what had happened to your son?
They kept it so tight sealed that nobody knows what happened.
Are you guys aware that when there's an incident like that in a classroom, that all parents are supposed to be notified?
I did tell Stephanie Martin, which is the principal, that I wanted that to happen. That I wanted all the children's parents who were in that room, that seen what had happened to him, for them to be notified of what happened, what kind of situation that their kids are being put in. And they said under privacy that they can't do that.
Okay. And what school is this at?
Barbers Hill Elementary North.
Okay. So you saw the video. What happened next?
Just a whole lot of, well, we're gonna get a hold of, what they did was they took the Barbers Hill Police Department, because they have a few police officers there, and called one of them in, and they had put one to investigate everything, so they had to take statements and all that.
He's fine. He's okay. He can let the garage up. It's fine.
So
yeah, he might want to go see. He might want to go see my dragon. So it's no problem. Go ahead, man. Like we're gonna edit all this stuff. It's okay.
Open it. How do you open it?
Just open it up. Just lift it up. It's already unlocked. I like it. Yep. Just push it up. There you go. Oh, okay. He just wants to see outside. That's all.
Hey, Mama.
All right. There we go.
Lucky.
All right, Dad. We're gonna move this up. I'm gonna turn the light up, okay? And let me see. All right, let's go. I'm ready. Go ahead.
I forgot where we were.
So
The police department to do the initial investigation took
Okay.
Statements from the people who were in the classroom, the teacher aides and everything, to press charges against Christina Langhorne. Well, should I back up to that Monday, whenever the teacher aide mentioned to Stephanie Martin, they how did they put her on furlough pending investigation. So she was getting a paid leave while they investigated the incident. And it took, I don't know, close to 2 months before it went in front of the district attorney.
She resigned right before that.
what'd you say, Mom?
She resigned
Oh yeah, she did resign
Okay.
right before it went to court, or in the
Okay.
court system.
Okay. During that time, was Isaiah still in school?
Yes, he was. He was still in the same classroom that the incident happened, and still around the two teacher aides that were there in the room at the same time the incident happened, and didn't do anything.
In between December and the time that the district attorney got involved, was there any type of communication with you guys, retaliation with you guys? Just explain like that 2-month period prior to her resignation.
There was communication in between what was going on with the court system and the teacher. We had an ARD meeting discussing the situation with Isaiah and Ian, his brother. But the retaliation was
Isaiah.
2 weeks after the incident happened with Christina Langhorne. Barbers Hill called CPS, stating that there was a welt on Isaiah. And
Oh man, he
wanted to go somewhere.
That's hilarious, man. Oh my god.
They did call CPS and was stating on physical harm. I guess they were trying to cover their tracks, trying to divert the focus onto them and put it on somebody else.
Was CPS notified when your son was abused?
Yes, he was. Yes, they were.
Okay, and what happened when CPS was notified when your son was abused?
They came. We met with the CPS officer at Barbers Hill, and because he viewed the video too, as well, at the same day that we had met, and it was the focus of Christina Langhorne's abuse on Isaiah.
So now, after that, CPS was called again with allegations of abuse at home.
Yes.
Okay, so explain that, please.
Well, they said they had a welt on his leg that they had went to go change him and noticed a hand welt. I know firsthand he didn't have anything on him leaving to go to school, because I'm the one that changed him last. I'm the one that got him changed, diaper, because he's incognate, clothes and everything, getting ready for school, out the door. Nothing was physically wrong with him.
And so CPS was notified. What happened next?
We went to Bridgehaven to do an interview, and we had an interview with the CPS officer, a different CPS officer, over this allegation. And they really never put a caseworker on it. The caseworker they sent to was the one that was for Isaiah being abused by the teacher. And it was the allegations and everything was dropped. The CPS never came out to the home. They finally realized that it was retaliation for the school trying to divert the teacher. So that case was dropped for them, the allegations of at home.
Okay. So after the case was dropped, we know that the district attorney got involved approximately 2 months later, so we're looking in the February timeframe. Okay. So what's happened since the district attorney, Chambers County district attorneys got involved?
They had brought it up to the grand jury, and they convicted her of a felony. Christina Langhorne.
Do you know what felony she was convicted of? I mean, well, she was indicted for.
I think it was assault on a child.
Okay.
And which is kind of strange because he has special needs, so they should carry along with that, but that's not mentioned at all.
Well, it does. So they did charge him with a felony because he has special needs. So it's likely a third degree felony that they charged her with, and so that's actually suitable. So the district attorney actually in this case, I think they've done their job actually very well, because they recognized that he was a special needs child and he was unable to defend himself. So I actually think we should applaud them. Okay, and that's just my understanding of what the law is, and this is also because I've communicated with other district attorneys and have had issues getting folks to getting some counties to indict for felonies just due to the age of the child. And that would be the only difference between a misdemeanor and a felony, disregarding the fact that the children are similarly situated, meaning they're both special needs, just the age is different. So I think it's a blessing. So let's just be thankful for the DA that did their job. So Christina Langhorne has been indicted. Have you had any additional communication with Barbers Hill ISD?
About the his situation? of what happened with the teacher, no. But we do keep ARD meetings for, you know, with their goals and everything.
And you, when did you retain me, Mr. Connor?
I retained you, I want to say back in January.
We started talking then, but, you know,
Yeah.
we probably didn't have a formal agreement until, what, the Starbucks?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it was February, I believe.
March, first week, it's like week of spring break.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
It was around that time. So it's been approximately a month since we've had a formal attorney-client relationship. Have I been able to view the videotape?
No, you have not.
And what reason is that for?
I believe, to be honest with you, I believe the reason why that they do not want to give out that video is so that way it doesn't make media.
Okay.
To be honest with you.
Okay. And I've attempted to retrieve an actual copy of the video for myself, right?
Yes, you have.
And I've been denied that opportunity by Barbers Hill.
Yes, you have. And I have signed a waiver in order for you to receive the video, and they had made the statement that there wouldn't be any problem.
Okay. And do you remember who made that statement to you?
Stephanie Martin.
And so, Mr. Connor, we've talked about it a lot here. You know, we haven't heard from your wife, and that's just because Isaiah is a beautiful kid and he needs some space, right?
Yes.
So, what do you want to see happen with this video? You've exposed a lot of your own personal situation, which will ultimately be seen by many. What do you want people to know from this?
Hold your kids safe. Don't trust the school system, because they might get their education, but you don't know what the teacher's capable of. I mean, we had thought we had peace of mind that he had a teacher who catered to what he needed and to teach him, you know, what he needed to learn, instead of abusing him.
Do you want the media to see this video?
Yes, I do.
Do you want social media to see this video?
Yes, I do.
What type of action do you want these folks to take once they see the video?
To let people know that this is real. Things need to be changed. Laws need to be either added to help the children. That there's such a problem with, and this just isn't in Barbers Hill, it's schools around the nation that have this problem, and not everybody thinks that, you know, it's that bad. But I mean, if you watch it, you see all these videos and you look at it and you're thinking, wow, if that was my kid, I would do this. But I can tell you, once it hits home, you don't know what you want to do. You just, it takes you back, and you're beside yourself when you see your child abused and crying for help, and no one's willing to help them. They're just too busy feeding themselves. So there is a need for extra cameras, for blind spots in schoolrooms, extra laws to protect the children. And
would you like it to be more affordable to
Yeah,
be
oh.
able to, you know, prosecute cases like this to get, you know, due process for your child?
yes, I do know for working class families who live paycheck to paycheck, it's hard to come up with money in order to help pay for an attorney, because these schools have these high priced attorneys that they keep on retained, and it's really hard to, as a parent who needs some sort of justice for their kid, to get any sort of help in the courts, because you don't have the money to do it.
This has been very enlightening. I think it's going to be very enlightening for the folks that see this. I don't even know that we need to edit this at all. Okay. Any final words? Because I'm going to end it after this. I don't even think that I need to say anything.
My final word on this is I love my son, my world. I'd do anything for him. And seeing that video and hearing him cry for his mom and his dad, neither one of us be able to help him, was heartbreaking. And I don't want another parent to feel.
All right, Mom. I want you to say what you just told me.
What I just said. The biggest part of, other than it being my kid, is every day the school district preaches to our kids that, you know, there's the see something, say something. They have apps that kids download at the beginning of the school year so they can anonymously tell their principals or their counselors, this happened, or I saw this happen to a certain student, so that they don't have to come forward and have the finger pointed at them. So you preach to these kids every day of, if you see something, say something. Don't hold back. But for 23 minutes, my kid sat there and had to be abused while a teacher's aide sat in that room in the corner eating her breakfast. And it took an entire weekend to say something because she had to think about it. How are these kids supposed to be comfortable saying something if a grown adult can't do it?
Right.
Like,
Right.
it amazes me. And I heard you talking to Buddy about whether or not they let the other parents know. There was one little girl in particular, she's nonverbal, wheelchair bound, that was in the room the entire time. And you could see her in the video just staring at Isaiah and Christina Langhorne in the corner. And she can't say nothing, she can't do anything, she can't go anywhere. But all they sent out was a letter after the fact saying that the teacher had been removed from the classroom and there was a substitute teacher coming in. That was it. Didn't explain what happened. So this poor little girl, parents have no idea. They've asked us to stay quiet about it, not to bring attention to it. But there's no telling what this little girl has in her head.
Yeah.
No idea.
Yeah.
She can't tell anybody.
And there's no telling what's happened to her.
And that's another thing that bothered me, is not only was it just my kid, there was another child in there that had to witness everything that was going on to another kid. There's no telling whether in her head she was thinking, am I going to be the next one?
Yeah.
Is this going to keep happening? Is anybody going to stop it?
And do you know what's tragic, even more so about that, is that because that child witnessed it, I couldn't even take the school district straight to court on that issue. I would have to go through due process,
Right.
the due process complaint process that you guys are having to go through as well, before I can litigate this issue in state court
Right.
or in federal court, which is ridiculous. And the reason is because you and I are both grown adults right now. If I were to walk over and slap you, or if you were to watch me physically assault your son in the corner, you could take me straight to state court for tort.
Right.
Intentional infliction of emotional distress because I made you watch it, knowing that it was going to hurt your feelings. I would be liable as a citizen. But now, and this is the tragic part, instead of you having that right, which most other citizens would have, you have to spend your money to go through a process that you know you're going to win, and the school district will delay the process because they know it costs you money to get you to drop the suit,
Right.
which will preclude you from getting the damages you are rightfully entitled to by law if your child was not special needs. It's ridiculous.
It is.
It's ridiculous. So I'm glad that you and Mr. Connor came forward. Thank you guys so much. This is going to help so many people. So many families want to tell their story. I gave Mr. Connor a chance to give some final thoughts. Do you have any that you want to share before we end the video?
I just really hope that other parents that are having to deal with this come through and say something and be the voice for your kid, because I don't know if he said it or not, but you watch all this on Facebook, you see it on the news, you see it every day. And actually, I never thought about it until it happened to us, of how many times I've seen it on the news and on Facebook. And you always stop and you're like, damn, like that's heartbreaking. And you always make the list of, if that was my kid and this was our situation, I would do this, ... But when I got that phone call and it was our situation and it was our kid, those ... just disappeared. And everything you say that you are planning for and you're ready for it, you're not ready for it. And it is a hard battle to get through. And not everybody has the help, somebody to talk to, somebody to help them find the right things to do, to say. People need to start saying more things when it comes to their kids, because these kids can't say it.
One last question, and we'll really end it after this. What help do you want from legislators? Because that's really the only way the law will change to make this easier for you. What help do you want from legislators that have the ability to change the law?
I want them to really take time to teach these teachers. They go and they just kind of seems like they just learn the bare minimum of how to handle these situations. These teachers that you see every day aren't trained the way they need to be when it comes to these kids. There needs to be a change with that, just attitude-wise, patience.
Would you like it to be easier to be able to take these issues in front of a judge?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It shouldn't. Because, like you said, if it was you or me or my husband that did it to our own child, we would be in court tomorrow. But because it's a teacher, it gets drawn out and just swept under the rug because nobody wants to go against the school. It's so hard to try to bring it to anybody's attention that will actually listen. It just needs to be easier to listen for these kids, to know that they're protected.
Mom, thank you. You and Mr. Connor did an amazing job. Isaiah did an amazing job. I think this is going to help a lot of people. I think this brings awareness to the situation. And I really thank you guys for your courage. Okay? I really do. And I'm thanking you in advance for the other families that will have the courage now to come forward. Okay. Thanks, Mom.